Hello, good evening, televiewers. Your work, Apostle Ambe, please. You're welcome to today's edition of Prime Hour on Media Prime. As tradition demands, we are going to be talking about relationship and marriage once again. This evening, we are going to be asking the question and answering it: whether a woman who is married to a lazy and irresponsible man should remain submissive to that man. Should a woman take up the different role and play the role of the husband, or even sue for divorce if the man refuses to change? It's going to be what we are going to be discussing this evening. If time permits, we also are going to be looking at whether wrong relationships could kill dreams. We grow up at times to be pilots, to say I will go to London, I will want to be a medical doctor, and at times fall into some relationships that end up not assisting us accomplish the dreams we had for ourselves. Is it possible that if you fall into one of such relationships, you won't be able to attain your dreams? Okay, it's going to be the second topic for tonight with our battery of panelists who are seated already in the house. Our consultant, Apostle Ambe Ngwa, is in the house with us. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Cameroonians. Good evening, viewers of Prime Hour. Today is Tuesday, and we're here to discuss relationship. You all stay glued to your screen because very vital information will be coming your way. This is a very sensitive topic, and I want everybody to pay attention because
we thank God that Madam has remained submissive to you, and she will continue to be.
Yes, for 15 years now.
We're also in the company of Apostle E. Alfred. He is an expert on issues of marriage and relationship. Good evening, Apostle.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. It's another wonderful day again, and I want to greet all of you out there, and thank you for always responding to what we do here. And today is another day. Let's put our hearts together and put our TV. Just stay glued to your TV till the end.
Okay, we also in the company of Dr. Simo Marcel, who this evening is not going to be talking under the cap of the CPDM. She's not talking politics. She's talking as an expert on issues of society, sociologist, to be precise. Good evening and welcome.
Bonsoir, Monsieur Léo. Bonsoir aux co-panélistes. Bonsoir aux milliers de téléspectateurs. C'est un plaisir d'être là, ça il faut le dire, et de me retrouver sur votre plateau sur une nouvelle casquette. Je me suis rendu compte, comme ça j'ai eu de la peine à me présenter, mais rassurez-vous, lorsqu'on parle de mariage, c'est un fait social. Et qui dit fait social met en exergue le sociologue que je suis. Donc c'est un plaisir d'être là, et je crois qu'à ma manière, j'apporterai, n'est-ce pas, quelques petits éléments pour éclairer la lanterne. Je ne veux pas dire des milliers de Camerounais, mais plus particulièrement de la jeunesse, avec une proximité plus basée sur le genre féminin. C'est mieux.
Okay. We also in the company of Madame Mme Henrietta, experts on issues of marriage and relationship, counselor. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening to your panel members and to all our televiewers. Good evening and welcome. It's another Tuesday. Just stay tuned as we talk relationship issues. Thank you.
Apostle Lefor Divine is also in the house with us all the way from Boya, Southwest Regional Capital. They call him the Love Doctor. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and good evening, viewers of My Major Prime. It's a great honor to be here again. It's been a little while, yes, due to the TSC project that has been coming up. But I'm here again today, and I'm excited, I'm glad, and Wisdom is going to speak again today. Beautiful topic, so we can expect some beautiful contributions. Stay tuned.
Okay, we are also going to be having participation from Mme, the Northwest Regional Capital, through Mme Asanji Yvette, who is also an expert in the domain, operating an office at Commercial Avenue. She's going to be contributing to our program as we discuss, but I'll start with you, Apostle Ambe Ngwa. You are married to your sister, because you're a man, your sister or your cousin or maybe your church member is married to one very irresponsible, lazy man, and who wants her to remain submissive to to him. How do we understand this and survive it?
Yeah, Mr. Leo, this is a very sensitive topic, and I'm sure it's going to help a lot of homes today. And those of you who are fixed to your screens, we are going to be telling you the truth. We are not going to attach emotions to what we're going to be doing here today, because if we attach emotions to some real facts, we're going to destroy more homes. And talking about if a woman still has the right to submit to an irresponsible and a lazy husband, I am going to say some things this evening, and I know most of you will fight me, but that's the truth. Just follow what I'm going to tell you. First and foremost, there's a difference between an office and a responsibility. The governor of a region is not supposed to be nice for you to respect him. In that office, the governor given to him as right by the law, the legal system, you are supposed to respect him as a governor. A father in a home is given the authority of a father by God. He's not supposed to be responsible for you to respect him. It's the same thing. The office of a husband, the person in question must be respected at all stratas. That is the first thing. That office of husbandry must be respected. And whether the man is responsible or is irresponsible, the man must be respected. And the challenge we have is that people are trying to misinterpret or misquote the responsibility of a man and the person of the man. The person of a husband is supposed to be respected and submitted to. The responsibility of that man is a whole drama put all together. I remember when we used to grow, my father was not that responsible. I'm very, very sincere to say it on this platform. It's my mother who was very responsible and took care of most of us, even paid my school fees to go to school. If I can sit on television today and talk grammar and communicate information, it's thanks to my mother. But you see, there is this cultural upbringing in the Northwest woman that respects the office of a man. Sometimes we'll get so wild until we want to even rebuke or insult our father. Our mother will be the first person to step in between and tell us that do not try it, because your father remains your father. In other words, there is an office he occupies that he's not supposed to be right or wrong for you to respect him. That is why you have to submit to a man, if at all he's responsible or irresponsible. The next thing I have to tell this evening is that if you cannot submit to a man, don't stay with him, because it will be more of a problem. It's the same thing with church authority. Any authority you cannot submit to anymore, there's no need you stay in there. That is the office. Now, coming back to the man's responsibility, emotions can replace reason. When people take emotions and replace reason, they will have every reason or every emotional drive to insult, lose respect, disdain a husband because he does not take his responsibility. A lot of things can cause people not to be responsible. People do not just get up and deliberately refuse to be responsible. Somebody can lose his job, and their irresponsibility may start from the day he lost the job. Somebody can see a kind of disrespect in his marriage, and then he turns to become something. That is for us to understand that the office of a husband is not the responsibility. Now the scripture says in 1 Timothy 5, it says, a man that does not take care of his own house is worse than an infidel. What does that script, what is it communicating to us? You are such an irresponsible person to the extent whereby God does not consider you a husband. He's considering you, or not a kingdom husband, he's considering you as an outsider in marriage. That is what we have lost. So people can easily lose respect for others because they are emotional, not because they are right. Emotion can push people to overreact and misbehave when a man is no longer responsible. And the best counsel I can give to you, that if you can no longer submit or respect a man, there is no need staying with the person. That is my first word for today.
Yeah, there's no need staying with the person.
You cannot submit to.
There is, you try to explain something, and there is the man and the
there is the office of the husband, and there is the responsibility. Like a deal is not supposed to be right for you to respect him.
Yeah,
the law has given the office.
Whatever he is, whether he is as responsible as irresponsible as what, you have to respect.
You have to respect.
You have to submit to him. Submit to him.
That is his privilege. That is right.
Apostle Alfred.
Okay, I just, when I hear Apostle Ambe talk about these things, I really just remember somebody from the grass field, who is very obsessed with the issue of submission. That the wife must always submit some kind of things. Because I think that before a man gets into marriage, he must know what he's going into. That's why I said that if you don't have money, have sense. If you don't have money, you must have sense. You can't be with a woman in the house and you are telling me that respect is something you earn. You don't tell people to respect you. You earn it. Earning means that you have other things to do, which will put that home in order. There is a way you will show your children love that will make your wife not to even bother about other things. There's a way you will show your, because many of these boys who do nothing, they know how to take care of women very well. I'm telling you, these busy people don't know how to take care of women. These boys that they don't do anything to get money, because they do a lot of pumping and everything. They know how to satisfy a woman on bed very well. They make you feel good and everything. So that one, the woman respects you automatically.
Is that the responsibility we are talking about?
It has to do with responsibility.
And the laziness.
Responsibility has to do, look at this thing, look at this thing. It's a whole bundle of things that keeps marriage together. It's not about money. When you talk about responsibility and you look at money, it's not, people have money but they're not responsible. They give their wives money every day, but they are not there to cater for the children, emotionally, psychologically, and even to direct their children and to protect their own family.
So small boys take care of the children?
Small boys know how to take care of the home. They show love. They can do massage, or they have time to massage the woman.
Are they taking care of the house or of the woman?
Who is the house? When you talk about the house is the woman. If the woman is fine, everything is fine. Okay. Children will be fine. That's the truth. A woman just needs to love you. Whether you give her what or nothing, she doesn't care about it. Women are that kind of people that if you win them and you go right to your heart, even if you don't give anything in the house, they don't care about it.
You're taking the debate somewhere else. It means that submission is not a function of financial responsibility. It's how well you can take care of my dad. That's what I get from what they are saying.
That is what I'm talking about. I say if you don't have money, have sense. Okay. That's what I'm saying. If you don't have money, have sense. Now, if we direct responsibility in marriage only to the area of finance, it means we are limited in our judgment. It can never be only finance, because men do other things in the family that makes the family solid and push people ahead, give the warmth and everything. Now, when he goes out, sometimes he can have maybe somebody give him maybe pineapple or pawpaw or whatever. He brings back home and shares with the children and play with the children and allow the children to climb on him. And he moves on like horse. And when he's going about, that thing keeps the house in order. Let me tell you something. Do you know why many marriages fail? Because people think that men must have money. And men who have money think that it is because of their money you must respect them. They try to make Sumanguru over the woman because they think that because I am the one providing for the house, I have money. I will still say this, and I say this again. What keeps marriage going is not money. It is the ability to be able to manage psychology, emotions, physical protection in the family. Giving warmth to your home. It will make your wife to go to any extent to be able to stay and make that marriage work for you.
I don't get you. Are you saying that then?
Yes.
Tell me. Are you saying that you have a man, you are married to somebody who does not work at all, right?
Yes.
That is laziness.
All right.
And then he does not take care of the children. He's married to you.
Yes.
But he does work, the work you are talking about very well. The wife will be submissive. Is that what you are saying?
Go and ask these women, let them tell you.
Okay.
A very rich man who gives money every day and cannot make that woman cry on the bed, she will not submit.
It means we are it's a different.
When you talk about lazy, you should be able to find out what laziness is all about.
They are giving a different meaning to what we are discussing.
Okay.
Yes, a different side of the laziness we are talking about with Dr. Simo. Oui. Est-ce que tu comprends? A man is completely lazy, is irresponsible, and wants the woman to be submissive. But the Bible says that the woman has to be submissive to the husband. Huh?
Rassurez-vous, Mr.
Yeah, the Bible did not say when the man is responsible.
Please, je vous ai suivi avec beaucoup d'intérêt, ça, rassurez-vous. J'ai suivi la lecture religieuse, je vais dire ça comme ça, du confrère, et j'ai suivi également avec intérêt la lecture sociale de l'autre copanéliste. Mais moi, ce qu'il faut retenir, et je l'ai souvent dit malheureusement, la société est détruite aujourd'hui parce que nous voulons imposer la lecture religieuse. Excusez-moi, je vais vous dire ça comme ça. Nous voulons imposer la lecture religieuse, mais on oublie que la société a évolué, les mœurs ont évolué, les mentalités ont évolué, et la soumission même devrait avoir une nouvelle perception. Ça, il faudrait qu'on se dise la vérité. Moi, je vous entends parler d'irresponsabilité, mais je vais dire quelque chose. Aucun homme, pendant qu'il cherche à épouser une femme, n'est irresponsable. Aucun.
Oui.
Il a des bons caractères, il a des bonnes manières. D'ailleurs, il est le plus beau de tous à vos yeux. Mais généralement, qu'est-ce qui se passe? C'est une fois, lorsque vous vous retrouvez dans sa maison, que vous commencez à voir un changement comportemental. Bon, maintenant, si l'émission était beaucoup plus longue, on pouvait se dire, soit c'est le comportement de la femme qui a amené l'homme à changer, mais généralement, vous allez voir un homme que vous aviez connu sous un autre angle, qui était battant, qui était travailleur, qui savait s'occuper de sa maison. D'ailleurs, qu'est-ce qu'on nous dit à la mairie? L'homme est le chef de la famille. Mais maintenant, une fois qu'il vous a mis dans sa maison, vous vous rendez compte que, et c'est très fréquent chez les femmes qui ont la chance d'être financièrement indépendantes. C'est-à-dire, lorsqu'une femme se bat et qu'elle a un travail, vous commencez à voir un homme qui s'assoit et croise les bras, sous prétexte que madame peut déjà sortir, elle peut apporter à manger aux enfants, elle peut payer le loyer. Et il commence progressivement par ne plus rien faire. Laissez-moi vous dire, et peut-être c'est là que je vais vous décevoir, quel que soit le degré d'amour pour ce jardin, elle va supporter 1 année, elle va supporter 2 années, mais le poids de la charge, le poids des difficultés sociales vont automatiquement impacter sur le degré d'amour qu'elle porte pour son mari. J'aime souvent dire très clairement, si ça dépendait que de moi, le concept, c'est-à-dire le mot divorce n'existerait pas. Et vous verriez donc une femme qui va se replier sur elle-même, commencer à construire en elle l'idée selon laquelle elle n'est pas mariée et focaliser son énergie sur ses enfants. Parce qu'à un moment, le mari, semble-t-il, lui a abandonné toute la charge. Et voilà comment ça commence à créer, n'est-ce pas, un déséquilibre au sein du ménage. Bon, c'est vrai, lorsqu'on insiste sur l'élément sexuel, oui, il faut également en parler. D'ailleurs, une science ou alors une étude démontrait très clairement que le sexe est en partie 80% des relations ou alors de la vie du couple. Là, une étude l'a démontré. Mais malheureusement, lorsqu'on s'est également rendu compte que l'amour ne peut pas se construire uniquement autour du sexe. Parce qu'à un moment, on aura besoin d'autre chose. Alors vivement que les hommes reprennent leur position de chef de famille et assurent pleinement leurs fonctions. Et surtout que leurs fonctions ne se limitent pas seulement au sexe, mais elles sont beaucoup plus étendues. Mais qu'est-ce qu'on observe avec les irresponsables? Ils abandonnent toutes les charges de la maison et ne se focalisent que sur les charges sexuelles. Et ça commence à être un peu très compliqué.
Okay, Madame Fortinglet, you tell us what you think about this subject.
Okay. Mr. Leo, like Apostle Ambe said, it's a very sensitive topic. And we really have to be very careful the way we go about it so that we don't really mislead people, because it might rather cause breakage in so many homes. Okay, now talking about a woman, whether she has to submit or not when faced with an irresponsible man. I love one thing Apostle Ambe said. He said an office is different from responsibility. A man, first of all, has been a husband, and then he has his responsibility. So any man, I'll start by saying that any man who cannot take care of his responsibility in the home, who cannot take care of his wife, what are we talking about responsibility? It means that you cannot actually probably pay rent, you can't provide for food, you cannot pay school fee for your kids, you cannot clothe your children, you cannot ensure that when the kids are sick, your wife is sick, you can pay for hospital bills, and all of that put together, we can name it. A man who cannot give this to his family is an irresponsible man. A man who cannot provide for these basic necessities. Given that the Bible said the responsibility of a man from Genesis was that he was going to till the ground. He is the one to provide for the home. And the woman is coming as a helper, as a helpmeet. So I first of all want to say that any man who just sits, you cross your hands and you expect a woman to work for you to eat, then you are irresponsible. And the easiest way to get disrespect from your wife is when you become irresponsible. That is, if you cannot provide for the basic necessity of the home, you automatically you're giving room for that. You're pushing that woman to the wall, and what you might likely receive from her is disrespect, and she won't be submissive to you. Now let me take to the side of the women. Where does this first of all start? At the time of courtship, before you get married. Doctor said something that we are trying to take marriage out of. The reason why we have issues because we are looking at religious. I want to say that marriage, the originator of marriage is God. And he knows exactly what he has designed in that matrimony. So anything we want to talk about marriage and keep God aside, we have kept the brain behind marriage outside, and we might just go astray. Because he has actually defined it. And if you follow what the Bible says about marriage, a man and a woman, you stay to it, you will never fail in marriage. Now, still in that book of Genesis, a woman was given a responsibility. The responsibility of a helper, a helpmate, a woman who is to help a man. You are suitable, adapted to the needs of that man. Why? Because God saw that this man is not complete. This man has an aspect in him that he is not strong, he is not powerful, he is not complete. And so you, this woman, you're coming to help him in that area. Married women do not have the same area to complete their husbands. That's one thing women fail to understand. There are men have different areas of weaknesses. One woman wrote here last week, there are men who are very dirty. If you are called to get married to that kind of a man, that is if you married right. Marrying right, it means that you are married according to the will of God. According to the will and purpose for God. It means that you actually sat, you have prayed about your marriage, you have no pressure on yourself, you have not pushed yourself as I just want to sit in a man's house. You have considered everything that marriage may hold for you in future. And you are mature enough to get into holy matrimony. And you design your mind and tell myself, I am going into marriage. I always tell young ladies, when you want to get married to a man, during courtship, it's not a period for you to be trying to make yourself beautiful to entice the man. You are a man, it is not a time for you to be struggling to see that you should look for money to make a big wedding. It's a time for you to sit and put the things on the table. It's a time for you to discover who you want to get married to. It's a time for you to understand if this man is the kind of man that will take care of me and my children when we get married. Because for this man you call the lazy and irresponsible man, this man has been lazy and irresponsible from the time you met him and you were on courtship. No man just gets up and he's lazy and irresponsible. Now, if he was lazy and irresponsible from the time you were courting him and you eventually got married to him without finding out and telling yourself that I want to bear this, I want to accept this, then that has been a failure on your part. When you get into marriage, go with the mindset, I want to marry Mr. X. What is that thing I need to work to meet up with him? Marriage is not for competition. You are not going to compete with this man. You are not going to teach him. You're actually going to complete him. You're going to complete him because he is lacking in a particular domain. There are men who could be lazy probably because of where they are coming from. They have not been taught to work. If you see Bamileke people, you hardly find a Bamileke man that does not know how to hustle. But there are other tribes, there are other areas, there are cultures where you can basically see people that will come from there and they do not know how to hustle. Now you, this woman, getting into the life of this man, you have a responsibility. And that is the meaning of this word, these two words we say, I do. What do you do? I accept that even in his laziness, I have to stand by, I have to submit to this man. And my rule, if he is lazy, I can practically bring him to the point where he can start being productive.
So what if you do it for years and nothing's changing?
If actually this man, Mr. Leo, if this man wasn't lazy before you got married to him, if this man wasn't lazy before you got married to him, if this man was not irresponsible before you got married to him, then after you got married to him, he became lazy and irresponsible, then there is a problem.
There's a problem.
There's a problem. Maybe. And you, the woman, you need to question yourself.
There's a demon that has come up.
It's not necessarily demon. It's not necessarily because, men are not like women.
Yep.
And men are not like women. There are times women can actually talk down a man.
Okay. Yes, you're laughing. Funny.
No, it's very, very, very funny. You know, sometimes I'm just imagining what somebody who is sitting out there who has no clue about Christianity, how to pray and everything, and when he keeps hearing, or sometimes when we keep sounding, I'm just imagining, you know, because the truth is, these are some reality. These are some things that happen, and the reality, where I would like to take this point is, the reality of this should really scare women. It pains me that women who are designed to submit never really take the time to profile and ascertain before coming in. Unfortunately, they usually use just emotions to take the step. You see, once
my dream, I've seen my dream.
Yes, also. You see, and sometimes even this, listen, you're talking about, sometimes this man was lazy, but at that point in time he had money. Look, at that point in time he might have had money. At that point, he might have come into inheritance. He might have been given, I don't know, there are many things, but a lot of times, because you don't have what you are looking from within you and in line with what you are expecting, most of the time we don't take time, like Madam was saying here, a lot of times people think dating is usually for sex, clubbing, fun, and a kind of companionship which we see every day in Boya, which we call cow stay. You see people come for first year, second year, and they are living with boys till third year and fourth year and all of this kind of things. You see, this world has become so complex that few people take the time to sit down and ask themselves questions. I told a lady, I said, you people are always who keep crying of heartbreak, 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 heartbreak. You keep saying you want to die, you will die, you will die. But how many times do you sit down to say, okay, this is scary because you are the submissive partner? In fact, it's always a man. It's a little bit difficult for a man, because if a man easily change, the submissive partner can easily follow. But it's always very difficult when the submissive partner is struggling to change the boss in the house. It gets complicated, because in submission there was no condition attached. That's the truth. We have said a lot that we are not saying that if somebody becomes deadly. I think we have made that very clear here, that once somebody's life is at stake, let's be careful. But let's understand that there is an irresponsibility that I don't think there is, because that's why you see sometimes even being legal, like even in the Western world, legal marriages are always good, because even when a man gets lazy, the state forces certain responsibility that people, that even when they divorce, the state forces that you must take care of this, you must take care of this, you must take care of this. And that's why also having a legal standpoint is also very good, because sometimes some of these men hustle because it's imposed on them. It's imposed. But the truth is, I want us to look at this and not just rush, because don't a man just change small, just get and say, no, I'll leave. No. Start thinking about that, especially those who are married, gotten married. Start thinking about that. Ask yourself, as a partner who is supposed to submit, do I? And that's why even in most weddings they say, are you going to take this man for this, for this, for this? And some people are just saying I do when they don't even understand what it means. That is why it takes a lot of maturity. You mean you are saying that I will follow this man even to a pit? It's a dangerous statement. But that's the truth, and that's why you need to take time to think. Now, what if the person is already in the house? Because that's the question we're asking now. What if the person has already come into the house and has discovered that this person cannot change? The truth is, if this thing is not deadly, if it is not, or if your life is not at stake, my dear, you will have to continue. Look, there's something. You must bear responsibility for your action. In fact, marriage is a decision, it's a responsibility you take, and you must be willing to bear the consequence of that decision. Okay. And that's why you must take it with a mature mind. Okay.
Clotilde is writing from Bamenda. Clotilde said, please, what's the meaning of submission? Is it accepting everything a man says? Apostle Ambe will answer you. Apostle Ambe has taken note of that. Clotilde just glued there. This one says, if the women knew that the man is so, okay, message is not clear, can't read it. I love the topic of today. A man can never be lazy or irresponsible. All rich men cheat on their wives, but poor men shall never cheat on their wives. All poor men might not be able to fund the home, but will bath the children, mop the house, chores, even cook, do laundry for both wife and children. Should such lose respect from their wife? All rich men are lazy, but would cheat on their wives. Should the wives now disrespect them? Women must be submissive to their husbands. It's destined by God. Okay, Fondom Fone is writing from Agiati in Bafut. Okay, glad to read from you. Blanche from Douala says, Mr. Liu, Dr. Ambe, the Rasta hair miss are genus. The Rasta hair miss are genus. Okay. They do promote this show, go viral. I love their intelligence. Okay, Blanche, good evening to you. This one says, thank you, my sister. A woman is a helper, which means the man can't be a lazy and irresponsible man. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The Bible says a lazy man is good to remain alone. So how can he even receive the submission when the Bible says he is good to be alone? Secondly, he is irresponsible. Mr. Liu, to me, my sister will and should not submit to such a man. Stone Art is writing from Douala, okay? Elvis Brown writing from Shell Newberg says, good evening, Mr. Liu. All in the studio. Mr. Liu, courage to you. All, I love your programs. Tuesdays are always special days for me, knowing that I will be having Apostle on board. It's Elvis, okay? Apostle, we are talking about the submission. Should you submit? Should a woman take everything a man says? Because, they say the woman must submit, but you are submitted to what?
There's a difference between submission and slavery.
Okay.
A slave has no say. A submissive person contributes, but doesn't impose. A servant is obliged to obey whatever the master says. A slave has no decision and has no will, but a submissive person has a say in a relationship. That is where the Bible didn't say women are slaves to their husbands. It didn't say women are servants to their husbands. It said women submit to your husband. Submit means I am under, but I have something to say.
You say submit.
Sub, yes. A subdivisional officer, like the one is under a divisional officer, yet he has a terrain that he controls. Douala Katriem has a subdivisional officer. And then at Bonanjo we have the divisional officer. But that subdivisional officer has a terrain called Douala Katriem where he is Lord and Master. They call him the chef de terre. So a woman is a chef de terre that's submitted under a divisional authority. Not like a slave who doesn't have any say, has no will, and has no direction. It is what the master says. So when we talk about women submitting, it doesn't mean that they have nothing to say. It means they have something to say, but they have no right to impose what they say. So when we talk about women, should you submit to your husband, it means if a man is irresponsible, it is the woman's responsibility to call the man's attention. That privilege she has to tell the man, my friend, you don't bathe, you don't brush your teeth, you don't provide money for food, is her right. A slave has not right. The master will slap you, will flog you, you will stay quiet. But when it comes to submission, he will tell you the children's fees have not been paid and you are not taking your responsibility. That gives her the right and privilege of a subordinate in a relationship. It's not slavery. It's not slavery. We as pastors,
so
there are many things.
What you are telling Clotilde is that it's not everything that the man says.
It's not everything that a man says in the home that is a law. You can counter it by proposing positive and more better ideas, not imposing it. The only way to prove to you that you are wrong is to do the right thing. If I'm with a woman in the house and I say something is not correct, and she's wiser and she says something which is better than what I have said, I must be humble enough to acknowledge the fact that I said nonsense. That you are the head does not mean you are always right. I have said it here and I'm repeating it. That you are the head does not mean you are correct. That you are the head does not mean you are always right. As a matter of fact, headship does not connote perfection. They are very stupid heads.
Like the irresponsible husband.
That's what I'm talking about. But now, how can a woman convey a message? I go to the GO's office. I know what he's doing is wrong. I don't come and say, Chef, they tell what you're doing is rubbish. I say, sir, this thing you did like this was somehow good, but I think that if we do it this way, don't you see it? The way you communicate it, that is where we have a problem. But a slave does not say anything. A slave has no right. The master urinates on you, the master is wrong. You have to stay quiet. The master flogs you, the master is wrong. You stay quiet. The master excretes on you, the master you stay quiet. But you cannot excrete on a woman. She will tell her, sir, what you did is not correct.
Okay, let's move over to Bromenda to get the first reaction of Mrs. Asanji Yvette.
Hello, Mr. Leo. Good evening to Apostle Ambe, Apostle Alfred, Apostle Divine, and good evening to Mme Henrietta, my co-woman. And good evening to the viewers. Mr. Leo, today's topic is complicated because I know everybody will be like, oh, let me say the men in particular will be like, yes, why not submit to a man that is irresponsible? Submit to him. He's the head of the home. Yeah, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done, you know. So it's a difficult one here. I must tell you, it's a difficult one because when we talk about submission, you know, the Bible says the man is the head of the home, and so the wife is supposed to submit to him. And the Bible says it clearly in Ephesians 5:22, reading going down. It says it clearly, wives submit to your husbands. Wives must submit to their husbands. And this is where we have a lot of problems in our society today because women don't want to submit. But who should a woman submit to? Because if we want to look at what God was explaining, the man is the head of the home. But let's not forget it, the man equally has a head that he is supposed to submit to. So before asking or insisting that your wife should submit to you, are you submitting to your own head, which is God? Because the wife should submit to the man is submitting to God. The man is the head of the home, God is the head of that man. So it is not like the man is the oga, you know, oga kwata on his own. He too has to answer yes, sir, to somebody up there, which is God. That is why even in the Garden of Eden, when God came, he did not call for Eve. He said, Adam, where are you? God will always walk with, you know, with order. He could have come and asked the woman, where are you? What happened? But he called to Adam because he's a respecter of order. He respects order. He respects protocol. So before a man should be sitting down and commanding a woman to submit to him, he should also find out if he is submitting to God. If he's submitting to God, submission would equally be possible from the wife. But I'm not saying that women should rebel submitting to their husbands. The Bible states it clearly. A woman must submit to the husband. The Bible does not state it whether it's an irresponsible husband or not. But he said we should submit to our husbands. But husbands should take note that they also submit to God.
We ask a question whether you should submit. You are not asking whether we are also submitting to God. That's a topic for another day. It's a topic for another day. Yes. Yes, but we're talking about this issue of submission. Where is the problem coming from? Someone wrote that poor people, they have a way of submitting. They do house chores and the rest. Rich people, they cheat and... Yes, and it's a little bit complicated, and consistently we have seen that it is a little bit difficult to handle a woman who is well educated and financially buoyant. Most of such marriages, we see the woman taking the headmanship in the house.
Yeah, I was
in that case, would you really want the submission is? Question mark here.
Now, when we talk about wives submit to your husband, the Bible also says submit yourself one to another.
Okay.
It's something that is mutual. It's supposed to be mutual. I'm saying this because, like Apostle Ambe said, that the woman only proposes. I think the man also proposes. Sherry, don't you think that we would have done this? Because that's good marriage. Let me tell you out there, I am not here so that you accept what I say. but I'm telling you what to make your marriage succeed. This is what I will tell you. Propose to your wife. Propose to your wife. If you have something to do, if you want your wife to be behind you 100%, propose it to her. You may even throw it and leave it for some time and come back and ask her, what do you think about what I told you? I think we should do it. It's a good thing. When a woman gets engaged into what you want to do, it becomes very successful 100%. Now, when most of these homes that men always want to override, there's a lot of pretentiousness, there's a lot of hypocrisy, there's a lot of secrecy, there's a lot of some kind of things, only because you want to make the man feel honored, especially for those men that like to feel honored. I have dealt with myself personally to tell myself this is what I told myself. Why do I want to take an honor when my home will not be happy or some kind of things? Let me try to reason with this woman and see what she thinks about it. And my marriage has been very successful in that domain. Because of what? I think I reasoned with my wife. To go back to school, we reasoned it together. To do all the things we're doing today, we reasoned it together. And we achieved it. It's a very great thing. And our children are doing very well because when they look at us, they see that agreement that is between us. They don't see this kind of bossy, this kind of, try to put people down or that kind of thing. They don't see it. Now, let me come again back to this thing. As a man, let me tell you the truth. Never be lazy. Never be lazy. If you don't have something to do at the moment, be creative. Be creative. What is creativity? Creativity is looking for other avenues and opportunities where you can get to support your family in one way or the other. Creativity is that ability to look at the family. Okay, they want 10,000. Okay, I cannot get 10,000 now. Let me try to see if I can get a 2,000 or a 3,000 somewhere so that I can just make them calm down for that moment. That is creativity. I will always advise the woman, please, never be hard on your husband, especially if you want him to do something. Don't do it. It's a very dangerous thing. Men were born to rule. They were born to lead. They were born to control. They were born to dominate. So if you try to force your opinion or to force your idea on him, he will misfire and he will hit you very hard. What you do is, like Apostle Ambe said, suggest. Just like I also advise the men to propose and to suggest. When you wanted to marry, you proposed to this woman. So what is wrong to propose again if you want to achieve destiny? You want to build a house, propose. You want to build a house, propose. You want to do something great, propose. Let both of you sit down and reason this thing. But as I said, laziness comes from two things. Number one, you can be afflicted from spiritual realm. The spiritual realm afflict you to become a very lazy person. Number two, you can become lazy because you think the woman is very hardworking, so you want to just let everything loose. Let me tell you, even if that woman can support it for a period of time, it will not support it for all the time. Just like what Madam said, she will not support it for all the time. So when you discover that you have put a lot of pressure on a woman, try to lessen that pressure by coming in with something, a creativity, a pushfulness, and let things go before. Marriage can be so sweet if both of you always suggest to each other, always reason together to go ahead.
Let us reason together.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. That's how God said now.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. It is inconceivable for a woman to be submissive to an irresponsible and lazy man. Apostle Alfred, please don't distract us with issues of psychological and sexual pleasure. How do you even get that erection when you don't cater for the family appropriately? Everyone loves better things, so if a man is unable to care for his family, he loses his respect instantly. Teboy is writing from Moliko, that's in Boya. That's where things are happening in Boya. Bertrand Fry writing from Bamenda, if the woman knew that the man is so before that, she needs to live with that because she knew so. But if it's after, then it means something went wrong along the way, which she needs to stay submissive and help to change him. Also, if the man was pretending to not be lazy before the marriage, then the woman can later change her status of submissiveness of the lie the man made before. Okay. Greetings to everyone in the house. When a woman decides to marry a man, she should be ready to help the man, even to be hard working if he is not. Nestor is writing from mile 14, Boya. Hello, it's Irene from Kumba. Please, how long is it expected or reasonable for two people to date before getting married? That's a topic for another day. Though you can quickly give an answer when you have time to answer. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm enjoying the program. A submissive wife can change a man through dialogue and understanding and follow up, but must be firm to see him become responsible. When a man becomes irresponsible and lazy, then something must have gone wrong that needs correction. Elvis is writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. As always, very interesting topic. Lista Montana is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you, Lista. Extend our greetings to your mother. Good evening, Mr. Liu. My greetings to all the apostles, especially Apostle Ambe. I love the program and enjoying the way Apostle Ambe always answers questions, no matter how twisted it is. More grace to him. If a man is lazy and does not work hard, improve in his state, then he is not ready to be submitted to, because a woman submits to he that respects his responsibilities and respects her saying too. Miss Blessing is writing from Bamenda. This one says, read my message. Yes. Good evening to you all. I wish to tell everyone that a good person don't need all those laws of submissiveness or respect to live happily. That is the bottom line. Let the pastor with the blue shirt continue teaching us how to be good and loving people. The Bible was given all those laws for bad people so that they can be better. Okay, you say, read my message, sir. Madame Gala is writing from Douala. Good evening to you, Madame. Mr. Liu, good evening to you and your team in the studio. Please, I want to say that the Bible is very clear about this. It starts by saying, men love your wife and women submit to your husband with no condition. So if you love someone, you will take care of that person. And if you love the person will be bound to submit to you. Let me see, if you are a lazy man, it's difficult to end the submissiveness of your wife and family at large. That is my humble opinion. Leo Relindis is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you, Relindis. Good evening. This is WhatsApp Brenda from Boya. Lovely program. Please help me with Mme Henrietta's number. Okay. Stop calling, please. Oui. Difficult equation, Dr. Simo. Should there be a limit to the submissiveness we are talking about? Are there some points that a woman should justify why he can no longer submit to a man?
Non, c'est pas difficile, là, il faut le dire. Mais je vais revenir sur un élément parce que j'ai comme impression que je n'ai pas été saisie.
Okay.
Je dis toujours, lorsqu'on parle du mariage, si l'on ne se focalise que sur le pan religieux, je vous assure, on aura tout raté. Je dis bien tout raté. Et la fameuse phrase qui intéresse, je ne veux pas dire qui intéresse les hommes religieux, c'est homme, aimez votre femme, et femme, soyez soumise à votre mari. Maintenant, prenons ces deux éléments. Homme, aimez votre femme. Femme, soyez soumise à votre mari et mettons-la dans un contexte socio-économique comme ce que nous avons actuellement. On va se rendre compte naturellement, malgré, c'est-à-dire quel que soit le degré d'amour que les deux couples avaient l'un pour l'autre, on va se rendre compte qu'il faudrait un ensemble de paramètres pour que ces deux éléments marchent ensemble. Vous vous souvenez avec moi, et je dis toujours, si l'on ne se focalise, si on ne s'appuie que sur l'aspect religieux, bon nombre de mariages ne réussiront pas. Et d'ailleurs, c'est l'une des causes pour lesquelles les femmes souffrent dans les ménages aujourd'hui. Parce qu'à pendant la formation ou pendant l'éducation, les parents à l'époque avaient inculqué dans l'éducation de la femme, juste elle va se marier. On limitait les études, on était capable de pousser les études de l'homme et de ralentir celles de la femme, sous prétexte que non, elle apprend déjà à faire la cuisine, à faire le ménage, c'est suffisant, elle peut faire des enfants et très rapidement un homme va l'épouser. Mais vous conviendrez avec moi aujourd'hui que le mariage n'est plus aussi facile comme il l'était hier. Lorsqu'on parle encore d'hier, le mariage une fois, alors que l'homme a épousé une femme, elle était vraiment ce qu'on appelait femme de ménage. C'est-à-dire, elle est là pour s'occuper des enfants, pour apprêter la maison, pour apprêter, nettoyer les vêtements de monsieur, nettoyer la maison, arranger tout, et attendre le retour de son mari au travail. Mais je vais vous poser une question. Est-ce que les conditions socio-économiques actuelles permettent à toutes les femmes de se comporter comme ça? Non. D'ailleurs, c'est la raison pour laquelle les femmes vont plus loin à l'école, les femmes trouvent du travail, les hommes même accompagnent leurs femmes dans la création de richesses. Parce qu'il veut quoi? Pas une femme soumise, mais une femme complémentaire. C'est de ça qu'il est question. Je veux dire, le concept soumission est extrêmement dangereux. Et généralement, il est péjoratif. Moi, j'ai entendu le frère dire la femme la met en bas. Je ne suis pas d'accord. Ça, je vous le dis, je ne suis pas d'accord. Mais la femme est à côté de son homme. La femme est à côté de son homme. Et pour qu'un homme réussisse, d'ailleurs, on dit souvent, derrière un grand homme se cache une grande femme.
Bien sûr, derrière.
Oui, elle est derrière, mais elle n'est pas en bas.
Bien sûr, derrière.
Elle est derrière, mais elle n'est pas en bas.
Ça veut dire que quelqu'un est au devant.
C'est-à-dire, pour qu'un ménage réussisse.
Ça veut dire que quelqu'un est au devant.
Non, non, je n'ai pas dit qu'elle est devant.
Non, l'homme est devant. Elle est
oui,
derrière.
elle est derrière.
C'est la soumission.
Et à chaque... Non, ce n'est pas la soumission. Parce qu'à chaque fois que l'homme va vouloir agir, il l'a dit, il se tourne et demande, chérie, on fait comment? Chérie, on fait comment? Parce que si un homme vient lundi, vous dit, chérie, j'ai fait ça. Vous dites, oui, massa. Il vient mardi, chérie, j'ai fait ça. Vous dites, oui, massa. Il vient mercredi, vous dites, chérie, j'ai fait ça. Vous dites, oui, massa. Rassurez-vous, dans 5 jours, dans 1 mois, dans 2 mois, vous vous fatigueriez. Et en ce moment, vous ne donnez pas la capacité à la femme d'être productive, d'être imaginative, d'être créative. Parce que vous la construisez dans un esprit de subordination. Elle accepte tout ce que vous faites, elle vous accompagne dans tout ce que vous faites sans vous poser de questions. C'est l'esclavage, c'est pas différent de l'esclavage. La femme, ou alors l'homme et la femme doivent développer une relation d'égalité. Elle doit accompagner son mari. Et lorsqu'elle accompagne, le ménage roule à merveille.
Ok. Mr. Leo, good evening. Mr. Leo, good evening. I can't respect or submit to a man who gets drunk and sleep outside every day. But if he is like my lovely husband who takes all his responsibilities to the extent that I always look for the area to disrespect him, but I can't see. It's a good topic, sir. Okay, success is writing from Kribi. So if your man is not there, is sleeping outside, you disrespect him. Okay. Greetings in the studio from Kem Zuma Valles, writing from Mulang Center. That's in Bamenda. Submission from a woman in marriage comes from responsibility, respect, and love from the man. And being responsible here from the men is not limited to financial responsibility, but love, care, and reciprocal respect from the man. Many men out there can provide financially to their wives, but are very irresponsible in other aspects like being a cheat, drunkard, and many other negative attributes. Okay. Michelson from Yaoundé says, good evening, Mr. Leo. On the Bible, okay, on the Bible is that a woman must submit and respect your husband with no condition, while men, I don't know. So no matter how your husband is, woman submit and respect without condition. Okay, good evening to you, Mike. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and all those that are on the panel. Maxwell from Batoke and Limbe. To my own point of view, there is no lazy and irresponsible married man. If a man makes up his mind to get married, it means he is responsible and hardworking. If a woman sees his husband, no, her husband is lazy and irresponsible, it means the woman is comparing the husband with other men out there. Okay. Good evening, it's Joyce from Bamenda. When love is involved, the wife is always submissive. Good evening, dear panelists, and special greetings to Apostle Ambe. Mr. Liu, I've seen men who are thieves and don't want to work, but their wives still submit to them. How can you explain this? Norbert is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your program is just the best. I'm learning a lot, getting to all the apostles, especially Apostle Esingi. It's Belinda writing from Limbe. A man shall never be lazy insofar as he has a family. Most women within this Android generation don't propose. They say, yes, okay. They say what they want or not they need. It's only God. I remain to say that all rich men are lazy but cheat on their wives, okay? Wow. Good evening. It's a duty for a woman to submit to her husband, but if the man tends to be a helper, automatically the woman becomes a man, and it goes with all of his rights. Shirts are for women and trousers for men. Respect your position. Wow, this one is strong number. Good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Liu and everyone in the studio. Please, Mr. Liu, the Bible says a woman comes as a helper to a man, but can a woman be submissive and contribute to development of a man while still in a courtship? You have to pray. The Holy Spirit will guide you. Lazy and irresponsible man does not even supposed to get married. So for that, I accept the fact that a woman has no right to submit to such a person. I'm Fai Austin, writing from Sokapam in Bamboo. Good evening to you, Austin. Madam Fortinglet, yes, confusing points there. If the man is lazy, he's not supposed to be married. But there are many men who are also irresponsible, even though they are richer. Some persons may think that irresponsibility only has to do with not being able to go to work, and a host of others. There are persons who are rich, like they say, but they are really irresponsible. They can pay for their children's fees, they can pay for the house, they can do this, but they still are irresponsible.
Mr. Leo, I don't know how we call somebody who is lazy and irresponsible that takes care of the basic needs of his family. Okay. A man who pays fee for his children, a man who provides food, a man who builds a house and put his family in it. I don't know how we can tame that kind of a person, a lazy and an irresponsible person. Okay. Yeah, because when we talk of...
Yeah, he raised the point. He cannot satisfy the wife, and then there are some who may not satisfy the wife, but there are others who are doing these things. They have 10 other banyas. They make 10 other banyas out there. Is that not also irresponsible?
We are talking about when you talk of laziness. Okay, laziness is not satisfying the wife. We're talking about irresponsibility as a man at home.
But if you cannot do the work, are you not also lazy?
Well, Mr. Leo, when I get this topic, my head is not even going towards that direction. It's true that we have to be very open, but my head is not really looking at that. We are not here to talk about a husband marginalizing the wife. That is very wrong. Yeah. We are not here to look at a man to talk about a man looking at a woman as a slave or a servant. Yeah. That is not a concept of marriage. Yeah. It's two persons coming together to amicably accept that, okay, we want to settle and we want to work together. So at the end of the day, we talk together, but in our midst, between two of us, there is an authority. And I didn't make that authority. I, the woman, I didn't create that authority. The man didn't choose to be the authority. The creator of the universe, he who is the originator of marriage, he made the man and appointed him. He made him the authority. Yes, that we have to agree, we have to talk, we have to dialogue, we have to concert and discuss things for the betterment of our union, our marriage. Doesn't mean that we all are drivers to this bus. There is a driver and there is the conductor. You cannot be driving and you're conducting. I don't know how to put this. Okay, The complexity of this topic, honestly, I'm one person that I like talking to women. I'm one woman who likes to make a woman understand her role in the life of a man. In as much as I do not agree with any man who looks down on a woman, who does not take care of his wife, I try to ensure that we, the women, we have played our role well. We have done what it takes. We have done what is right. We know actually what we are daring into. We know actually what we are occupying, so that we don't get lost in the whole thing. This subject of us looking at a lazy and irresponsible man, sometimes this frustration about some women, the frustration some women have about laziness of a man is born out of expectations.
Comparison.
That's what somebody said in the
It's born out of this because sometimes you expect too much from your partner. Mr. Leo, you are doing your job.
Not knowing that all fingers are not the same.
Look at where you are. If your wife start thinking that my husband should have been a minister in this country by now, she would think you're lazy. You want to be a hard-working man for her. It depends on how we are looking at this whole thing.
So maybe Paul, my friend,
your friend is this, your friend is that, your friend is driving the Jeep, this, Benz, this. You are only, it means you are a lazy man. Because she is born out of the place of too much expectation. She expects a lot from you. This whole thing, in fact, I was tempted to begin to write some things before I lose some of my ideas as we're sitting here. I would just, every man has a woman suitable and adapted to his needs. I was about to say, I said something here, Dad. When the Bible calls a woman a helper, a helpmeet, we are not called to help the men in the same direction. Men, as you see them, are not like women. Men, as you see them, have their different kinds of areas where they are weak. There are men that womanize. There are men that are lazy, as we are saying. There are men that are very dirty, for instance. There are men that are so negligent. And there are men that are workaholics. You, a woman, you Mary, you are called to this man who is a workaholic to see how to regulate his working attitude and help him not to overwork himself so that he can live like a real man. You, this woman who is married to a lazy man, you are called to identify where my husband is weak. You encourage him with submission, not with strength, not with you're not being impulsive, because sometimes most men get frustrated with the attitude of some women. What are you even doing? That small thing you went to do, you cannot even do it. You are this, you're lazy. And sometimes when you talk down on a man, you kill him. You kill his strength. In every man that wears a trouser, any man that takes the decision to get married to a wife, there is a strength within him. There is a strength within him, and it is your choice as his wife either to kill that strength or to build the strength. So you have to decide which one you need to do. This man might just need you, and that's why God created. He says, you a help me. He makes you suitable for him to come at that time and help him come out from that weakness, because he's not able to stand on his own. You are coming now to help him, to talk with him, to direct, not to talk with him so that he understands how to go about his life goals. You are not coming to challenge him. You're not coming to tell him what to do. You're just coming to identify. When you get married to a man, identify one, his strength. Identify two, his mission. When you identify his strength, you identify his mission, you work on that. You don't try to change his mission. Don't try to make him another man where he is. He's not. He's not another man's strength. Most times we want our husbands to be who they are not.
Is it not also because you said each man has an assigned wife? Is that what you said when you were reading? Can you read?
Yeah, she said something like that.
Each man, when you are married, you are a man. There is a woman who comes to meet up to that area.
Yeah. Do we find this problem because we find the other women, but not that woman that was supposed to accompany?
It could be a possibility.
Yeah, because that is where the problem is. Because we are talking about compatibility here.
Because the woman the man that another man is calling dirty,
yes,
could not be dirty for another woman.
I'll tell you just one thing. Excuse me, let me say something.
Yes.
In most marriages, if you have noticed, the area where the man is weak, the woman is very strong in that area. in most marriages. That's why we talk of differences in marriage, differences in couples. You see a man who is he's very dirty, but the woman is very clean. You see a man who in business he's not very strong, and most of these lazy people you're talking about, their wives are very hardworking. They always have very hard-working wives.
Don't even complain.
They work extremely hard. And they come to compliment. So that's why God brought you who is extremely hard to meet up with somebody who is not very pushful, for you to help that man so that both of you come up together. And not for you to come and criticize and kill him.
Okay, Madam Fortingle. Let's get to Momenda and take the second intervention of Ms. Asanji.
Okay, Mr. Liu, I would like us to understand something. When we talk about submission and headship, a lot of men have misunderstood what headship is. When they say a man is the head, take note, you are not a dictator. Because most men think being a head means you should dictate things around. Being a head doesn't mean you should command people around. Remember, marriage is the coming together of two mature people. So if you want to talk to your wife who is submitting under you, you should talk to her like she's a mature person. If you should first of all have that at the back of your mind, submission from a woman will not be difficult. A lot of men have made submission difficult for women. Sometimes it's not like women don't want to submit or they have difficulty submitting, but most men make submission difficult for them. For example, a man that goes and cheats and comes home with sperms, hanging everywhere around, I don't want to call names, but you know what I mean. And then comes home with that kind of, in that state, expecting the wife to remove the trousers and wash them because he is the head of that home. That doesn't make sense to me in the name of submission. A man that is cheating and thinks he can cheat and let the woman know very well that he's cheating because he's the head of the home, that is not headship. So men should not make submission difficult for women. Women it's a commandment that women should submit to men. But sometimes men really make it difficult for these women to submit to them. Headship is not being authoritative. Headship is not being commanding your wife around. She's a matured human being. She's a teammate. And if you can understand that, you will not come and talk to her like she's a slave or she's a nobody. You equally talk to her knowing that you also have a head above you who is God, that you're supposed to submit to. So submitting to an irresponsible man is not easy, but the truth is, if you really have to help him change, you cannot go and become irresponsible too as a woman to make him change. Two wrongs will not make a right, that's true. You can stand out, keep your integrity. Don't even belittle yourself. Don't even go doing things that you don't want to do because a man is irresponsible. Keep your integrity, stand on what is right, pray for him, and God will help arrest him and bring him to the right order. You must lead with an example. If the change that is needed in your marriage starts with you. So don't lead by following wrong footsteps. Lead by doing what is right.
Ms. Asanji, thank you for that intervention. Daisy, writing from Kumba, says, good evening, Mr. Liu, and to all the panelists. It's only by the grace of God that a woman can stay with an irresponsible and lazy man. Worst of all is that such men are usually very arrogant. I don't think I can cope with such a man. Daisy, receive grace to cope with anybody, please. Sumbele Kelvin, writing from Kong Saba, says, good evening, Mr. Liu, and your wonderful panelists. A wife must submit to her husband no matter their conditions. Mr. Liu, I feel very bad when I get to homes that it is the husband that is submissive to the wife. Because you say it's what?
It's unscriptural. It's a curse.
It's funny, isn't it? How do you manage it?
It's so interesting. Really, let me put my voice on this. First, I would like to say that
Headship of the man and submission.
Yes. But the first thing I want to point out is honor is who you are, not what you do because somebody deserves it. Respect is who you are. It's, in fact, today in church people always say, I disrespect you because you respect yourself. I no honor you because you need to honor me. But that's not how it's supposed to be. The truth is, a respectful person is respectful independent of the disrespect of the other person. For example, if I insult you and you are abusing me, if I walk away, I'm not walking away necessarily because I'm disrespecting you, but I could walk away so I don't disrespect you. But my point is this: honor and respect should be who you are. Now, there's a movie I watched, Coming to America 2. I don't know, some people out there might have watched it. And this man was looking for a wife, and he meets this girl and asks, what do you want to do in life? The lady say, whatever you want, sir. What do you like? The lady was like, whatever you like, sir. Where do you want to go? Wherever you want to go, sir. Now, this is that erroneous view of submission. And the truth is, what many people fail to understand, a man deep within does not like such a woman. We are not looking for people who don't have a will and a direction on their own. You see, I want to emphatically say here in plain terms, it might offend some people, but the people with the most enjoyable marriages, since we're talking on women, are women who take pride in submission. Now, the truth is, women who take pride in submission. I have seen women who try to balance this, try to react and act and put this, but they always struggle in their matrimonial home. Because when we begin to make it look like the man needs to do this for you to balance like this, yes, there will be a time we will advise the men. But sometimes when we take a topic, it's like, I think there are counselors here. When somebody comes to me, for example, to get counseling, most of the times they are hoping you counsel by somebody else. They are hoping you agree somebody else is wrong. They are hoping, I always say, okay, let's solve this matter as if the man will never change. For example, if a woman comes to me, let's solve this matter as if the woman will never change if a man comes to me, because sometimes they are more concerned with proving that they acted like this because they were right. But I am not counseling you. What if we don't have the right? What if we don't have the power to talk to those men? What if we don't have the power to talk to call those men to order? So is it that you will just pack up your things and go? No, we must look at this from this perspective. The truth of the matter is, the respect and the honor should be who you are. And I have said that women with successful marriage are women who take pride in submission. So what do? They are therefore smart enough to look for men whom they trust their judgments. The truth is, most of the times women are getting married to a man that they don't even trust his judgment. It does not make sense. Because if he will be the leader, you have to trust that he will lead you well.
So it depends on the foundation.
Yes, that is why it keeps going back to the foundation. So you won't come in and begin to second guess. In fact, you cannot come in and second guess a man's every decision and you think he must confer with you to make every decision. It is not done.
You got married out of pity.
That's not it.
You got married because of money.
It should not be done.
And then
it come now and then you begin to you must first of all trust. So a woman is submitting not because she's saying that I have lost every will of my own. You keep talking about help me and everything, but let's look at that word very well. You can help somebody you don't know. You cannot help somebody you don't value. You cannot help somebody you don't respect. The truth is, most men, because and I want to say this, submission will not make a man rich. So don't think that because you are submitting will make the man rich. No, submission can simply give a man that value that can get him to understand his responsibility. Yes. But let it be very clear here that don't make that mistake to think that a man needs to do A before you do B. You see people who are dating, even in relationship, we used to see that on the table. A man will tell this, a man say, there are three, they just lose you, so I just laugh. A woman must trust where the man is going to. If not, we will go around in circles and circles and circles. True, a head is not always right. In fact, I have gotten very challenging questions. One day I put up a post. I said, wow, my wife has asked me a question today that has got me thinking. In fact, my wife asked me one question in the parlor. I had to go to the room. I was talking about something. She asked me a very powerful question and I had to sit down and ponder. And I came and said, man, you have challenged me. Now, that is not, it's not a challenge on authority. is a challenge that came with wisdom. It came with a woman who has something. Every man is looking for somebody who has something, and if you have that thing, the man will always turn. So the man will not turn out of pity that because I want to equalize with a woman. No,
Apostle Ambe, are we not actually in a fix because we don't have many husbands and wives? We have men living with women. Because if a man actually meets, a husband actually meets the wife, automatically the man will love and the wife would submit.
It's definitely not so, Mr. Lou. Okay. I beg to disagree.
Okay.
You see, when we use the word man in a generic term, we don't seem to get the actual sense of it. In that man is a father. In that man is a husband. Okay. And until we differentiate these two, we'll go nowhere.
Okay.
Once a woman refuses to respect a man, is disrespecting the children's father. And we grew in homes that we were bound to respect our fathers, not because those fathers did what was right or what was good or even aided us, but because they were fathers. No scripture taught us that. Even the cultures of our society taught us. Till date, as a father, where you are right now, if you cannot give responsibilities and your children don't respect you, you won't take it very easy. When we start making erroneous statements and sweeping statements that a man should not be respected, that man that is standing there is some people's father. My father was a drunk, and on no account would you destroy my father. He never paid my fees, but that honor as a father is there, and you cannot take it from me. And if you are a woman who happens to disrespect your husband in the presence of your children, you will face a serious problem tomorrow. The man might not be responsible, but the fact that you are disgracing their father, you will get it hot from those children. When we emphasize on a man has to provide before he gets respect, it's very surprising. I'm not here to defend the fact. I always like to make my argument very balanced. I'm not here to defend lazy people. If you are irresponsible, the Bible calls you that you are worse than an infidel. But on no account, I repeat, should a wife disrespect a man, because in that man called husband is a father, and no child, I repeat, male or female, will sit down and watch you rubbish their father.
But does the portfolio of a husband go with some responsibilities? Because it's like, I am a man, but when I decide to enter the police to write a police concours, I'm the man who becomes a police, and the fact that I'm a police means that I have some responsibilities to maintaining law and order in the community. I'm talking about the responsibilities of the man who has become the husband.
That's what we are talking about. We are talking about that men are supposed to be responsible. You cannot stay in a house and fold it. As a matter of fact, no woman should give a man breathing space who is irresponsible. You are the one to check the giant in him to come out. Yes. If you are married to a lazy man, you cannot survive. As a matter of fact, if I am married to a woman that is not responsible, you can't survive around me. I will not abuse or insult, disrespect you, but I'm going to do things that will cause that giant in you to come out.
Yeah, because I would not want some women out there to think that we are doing a case for irresponsible lazy men.
No.
Yes,
they should not. No. We are clarifying it here. I am not here to promote lazy people, because I am not one. And as a matter of fact, those who walk around me, you know very well, you will suffocate. If you are a man around me who cannot take care of a woman, you will suffocate. I'm not that kind of person. But listen to me and listen very well. Let us strike a balance on this. There are some people that life has not favored them. There are people in this life that they have done their best, and life has not favored them. They don't have a means, not because they don't want to give, but because they don't have a means. And you see such a person is beating his soul and his emotions and trying to kill himself just to take care of you. You, because the man cannot meet up, you lost respect for him. There are children in that house who look at their father and they know the man's heart for the children. And you, their mother, you are disrespecting him because he cannot provide basic needs.
Okay.
Life has not favored everybody the same.
Okay.
So don't take somebody's misfortune to characterize his personality.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Liu. Your topic today is not only interesting but educative. More grace to the panelists. I am Bishop-elect Baye if Afwe Joseph, a marriage consultant. I would like to see with Apostle Ambe that money commands respect in the family. A husband that cannot provide for his family will automatically lose respect from his wife and even from his children. Sex can never be an ingredient for respect. Take note. A husband cannot provide for his family is looked at as an irresponsible person, and sometimes the wife will not even give him sex. Many men who lost their jobs also lost respect from their wives. My prayer is that let every husband endeavor to do something for his respect to be maintained. I am also talking as a husband with an experience of 48 years. Okay, glad to read from you. Kudos to you all in the studio. We have heard of situations that men killed women in the process of the women are being submissive to those men. An irresponsible man is a minus and is not fit to run a home. Martin at Chankeng is writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I wish to know if they are irresponsible rich men as well as irresponsible poor men. Bertrand is writing from Limbe. Yes, you could be rich and irresponsible. Good evening, Mr. Leo and the panelists. According to me, there is no lazy and irresponsible husband out there. Our government have just conditioned the society in such a way that some husbands will hustle from January to December, but won't be able to have enough to satisfy his family. Secondly, wives are supposed to submit to their husbands no matter the condition. Thirdly, it is the man's responsibility to provide and protect his family. The wife should support if possible. Lastly, it is the husband and the wife's responsibility to satisfy each other sexually. It's a shared responsibility and not the man's own. If a man is lazy and or is irresponsible, the wife should be held accountable. Prince Ndiku is writing from Jupiter. Okay. Prince Ndiku, okay, a submissive wife would indirectly control her home and husband, but a foolish woman would use women emancipation and set their home ablaze. Tagen Donatien says, good evening, Mr. Leo. A good woman should build her home through prayers and fasting, no matter the condition of the husband's marriage, is for better and for worse. What good has God has joined together, let no demon put asunder. Okay. Yes, again, Donatien, thank you for your contribution. This one reads, good evening, Mr. Leo. No lazy man should even get married because it will be difficult for him to take care of his children, and that will automatically make his wife to disrespect him. Submission is only given to responsible men. If a man is not responsible, it means he doesn't love his wife, and automatically the equation will never be balanced except otherwise. Agbo Tambe Ferino, writing from Douala. Greetings to everyone in the studio. Mr. Leo, is the courtship really necessary before marriage? Because during that period, both partners will claim to love each other until they find themselves under the single roof. That is when you will know that you were dating the wrong person. The truth about marriage is to pray for God to lead you to the right person. I'm Ajong, writing from Boya. Good evening to you, Ajong. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Can you please give more time to the lady in yellow to talk some sense in us? I think she has more stuff in stock to help build marriage and home. Tamanji is writing from Douala. Good evening, Mr. Leo. This is Miss Chini Manka from Yaoundé. Should a wife still submit to a cheating and disrespectful husband after all what they have been through? Oh, that's a question. Good evening, Mr. Leo. My greetings to all the panelists, especially Apostle Ambe. I love the program and I'm enjoying the way Apostle Ambe always answers questions. Please, Mr. Leo, help me ask Mme Henrietta, what of those men that are cheats and you, the woman, you are trying your best and he is not changing? Does it mean you are not meant for him? Okay, Carol, she will answer you, though we are out of time. Oops, this one. You have given so many quotations. I can't read them. It's so long. This one says, good. Once a woman is married to her husband, she is entitled to respect her husband, even if her husband fails to take over his responsibility because of a particular circumstance. Okay? From Upper Costain. Mr. Linus is writing from Upper Costain. We are going to use this last 30 minutes to discuss on our second topic for tonight, and I will start with you. Apostle Alfred, yes, we were looking at relationships and dreams. Is it possible for your dream to be killed because you got into a wrong relationship?
So many are lamenting today.
Okay.
So many are crying. So many went to their early graves without accomplishing their purposes and dreams because of marriage. When you marry the wrong person, you find yourself in darkness. You find yourself in hell. You find yourself in a very funny situation. You know, when you have a dream and a purpose, that's why before you marry, you must find the kind of partner that ties with what you stand for. Marry someone that is having that idea that you stand. That's why we always tell people, Christians, marry a Christian who also have the same idea like you. Because when you marry someone that does not even know what religious values are all about, they will even frustrate your Christianity and then push you to darkness. Then you react against them and make marriage becomes very funny. So that's why you see they always tell you that don't get married to an unbeliever. That's what they always tell people. So now, in terms of purpose, marriage is purposeful. There is a reason for marriage. You don't just get up and want to marry. You don't get up because they are telling you your family to marry, your time is passing and so on. You must program yourself. Why do I want to marry? What do I want to achieve in marriage? What kind of person do I need to go on in this marriage? Will I realize my dream if I continue like this? That's why they give a space of courtship and a space for you to both to know yourselves and see the directions where you both are going to. A woman that marries a man who cheats will not tell me that she didn't know that man was a cheat while in courtship, because you already saw his behavior, you already saw his advances, you always saw how he behaves. You just need to know that he will be a cheat even after you marry. A cheat is a cheat, whether you marry him before he cheats or after he cheats. But provided he started, because now you started sleeping with somebody before you married the person, so what do you expect? You want to think that he would be so faithful and be patient to wait not to cheat. So those things destroy your dream, because when somebody is psychologically disturbed, they cannot fulfill purpose, they cannot fulfill their dreams. So I will always advise people, even those of you that have already found yourself into marriages where you say I have made a mistake, or you think that this is not the right person, you can still reorientate yourself, you can still bring back yourself, you can still see how to culture yourself towards bringing this man to reason with you and work, because you will not do it by force, you will not do it by insult. Just like what we're talking about lazy man, when you see somebody talking about lazy man, is trying to say that the way I wanted him to go, he's not going that way. So I am disappointed in what he's doing. So you don't bring such a person back arrogantly. You don't bring such a person back with insults and other things. You bring them up with wisdom. You bring them back with love. You bring them back with patience and submission, just like what we're talking about here. So we always call on the women, especially because it is mostly women who go out of purpose when they marry. Mostly women. Because the men will always be engineering. They will always be the one to control. The other one say, now we are doing this. The woman say, I want to go to school. They say, no, you will born speaking now. This year will be born. And this, by the time you give birth, the second one, they come. Things begin to change. So most of those women settle to build a family life instead to build a better life.
Okay. Dr. Marcel, have you seen cases where dreams are shattered because they got into a wrong relationship, only for either the husband or the man to cry and curse the other years after?
Permettez que je souligne quelque chose. Je crois que le confrère va peut-être me taper sur les doigts. Mais je continue à dire... Oui, il va me taper sur les doigts, mais il faudrait que je le dise. Il faudrait qu'on éduque nos enfants aujourd'hui dans l'esprit selon lequel le mariage n'est pas une fin en soi. Parce que vous avez dit quelque chose de personnel. Parfois, vaut mieux être seul que d'être mal accompagné. C'est très important. Parce que lorsqu'on élève l'enfant dans l'esprit selon lequel on est africain et la femme doit automatiquement se marier, on arrive dans des situations où, en chemin, quel que soit le type d'homme qu'elle rencontre, elle ne prend pas sur elle le temps de dire, est-ce que ce type, est-ce qu'il me faut? Est-ce que cet homme a les qualités que je voudrais? Est-ce que... Mais elle vit sous la pression de ses parents. L'âge est atteint, la preuve. Lorsqu'une femme commence à avoir 25 ans à la maison, le regard change. Parce que de temps en temps, la mère va lui dire, qu'est-ce que tu fais encore chez moi? Je ne suis pas ta co-épouse. Et ce sont ces éléments-là, cette manière de penser qui parfois amène la jeune fille à se retrouver dans les bras de n'importe qui. Donc je crois qu'il est important aujourd'hui au XXIe siècle de faire comprendre aux jeunes filles et aux jeunes garçons que le mariage n'est pas une fin en soi. Juste pour dire que lorsqu'on veut franchir cette étape, il faut s'assurer qu'on a une maturité d'esprit assez raisonnable. Parce que moi, quand j'entends le confrère vous dire, si j'ai une femme paresseuse à côté de moi, je vais la motiver, je vais faire ci, je vais faire ça, et elle va se développer. Je suis d'accord. Mais n'oubliez pas, il y a des personnes que quoi que vous fassiez, ils ne changent pas. Et en ce moment, qu'alliez-vous faire? Vous allez l'abandonner? Non. Pardon? Justement, je voudrais qu'on prenne ces deux cas. Il ne change pas. Mais qu'est-ce qu'on va faire? C'est pour dire quoi? Qu'en fait, lorsqu'on parle de respect, de soumission et tout ce qui va avec, ça se construit. Un homme qui veut être respecté, une femme qui veut être respectée, c'est très simple, devrait d'abord se respecter elle-même. Parce que lorsque vous vous respectez, il y a un comportement que vous adoptez. Lorsque vous vous respectez, il y a des choses que vous pouvez faire et que vous ne pouvez pas faire. Lorsque vous vous respectez, il y a des méthodes que vous devriez apporter. Et lorsque vous faites tout cela, vous imposez le respect dans votre maison. Le respect ne se discute même pas. Il s'impose. L'homme impose le respect chez lui. Et par quoi? Par ses actes, par ses actions, par son comportement, par tout ce qu'il fait. Par tout ce qu'il fait.
Dans la situation que l'homme est vraiment responsable et la femme ne le respecte pas.
Non, vraiment, il y a un guise sur rouge. Je ne voudrais pas qu'on ait dans ce cas de situation. Lorsque vous dites l'homme est totalement... Il dit bien, il y a un guise sur rouge. Simplement, c'est parce que les femmes sont restées dans une soumission totale. Moi, je vous dis quelque chose, sœur. Si vous aviez une femme, vous épousez une femme en 2000, depuis que vous l'aviez épousée, tous les jours, elle vous dit oui. Lundi, elle vous dit oui. Mardi, elle vous dit oui. 1 an, elle vous dit oui. 2 ans, elle vous dit oui. 3 ans, elle vous dit oui. Je vous assure, vous allez vous fatiguer. Et vous allez commencer à vous poser des questions. It's very important.
It's very important.
C'est ça qu'il est question.
Madame, for Tinglet, we're talking about people losing their dreams, killing their dreams because they call themselves in a wrong relationship. We've had situations where the man will say, okay, a lady was going to school, and once you get to the house, they say that you will not go to school because if you go to school, submission will no longer be there. Now. Yes, we're talking about submission. Yes, how do we strike a balance here? That you are into a relationship, but you still can attain your objectives or dreams?
It starts from the foundation.
Okay.
It all begins from the foundation. Knowing who you are, believing in your dreams and putting them on the table. Not being afraid for anything. You don't want to get married to me because I want to be a working woman. Fine. I think the right man is coming. The problem is that most times we do not even identify purpose within us. We do not even know what we dream at. We don't talk about it. We don't communicate. At the time you are in courtship, you don't create that platform to discover your various dreams and see if you are driving towards the same direction. If your husband, your wife to be, will be able to support you achieve what you're looking up to. We just get moved and we are so, especially for us women, you're so interested about the name wife, you want to get married, and you forget about your dreams. You said something like you are in school and then somebody comes to get married to you. Mr. Aliu, I had that experience as young as when I just had my ordinary levels. I was getting to advanced levels. I already had suitors, men coming to wanting to get married to me. I remember there is this family, the woman and the man came to my family and told my parents that they want to take over my education. But they want me to get married to their son. They were pleading. That was actually when I had to go to university. They want me to get married to their son. So they will continue to take care of me in school. My parents look at them and like, we have not complained that we cannot take care of her in school. Except she really wants to get married. That's her. I think she's mature. She can be able to take a decision for herself. I said to those people blatantly, I told them, you see me, I have one thing in my mind now. I'm looking up at something. I want to go to school because I have a dream. And I don't want any man to bury that dream for me. Because the tendency is that, like Alfred was saying, when you accept and compromise your life because you want to get married or because of promises they give you, and then at the end of the day, you have one child. The second come, the third. And maybe the man start telling you that which school even, please sit there. And you're not careful. That same mother-in-law that came to plead for you to get married to the son is telling you to sit in the house and take care of the children. And your dreams start dying gradually and going because they don't even valorize what you carry. They don't even know what you carry. And there is something burning within you. It can be so terrible. You can die. It can lead to depression. When you have something within you that needs to come out, you want to work to achieve a dream, but you are not being allowed to do that. For us to be able to prevent that, especially women, talk it. Don't be afraid. Any man, you will tell him that my dream is becoming a journalist tomorrow, and he tells you that no, I don't want to see my wife, my future wife on screen. Please, just take a narrow escape. Stay back. And know that man can never support you. And that man will frustrate you for the rest of your life. Don't compromise your dream. Don't compromise purpose. Don't compromise it because you want to rush into marriage. Or because you love a woman, you're crazy about her, and you don't mind how she cares whether you will be whatever tomorrow. There are women who will never want their husbands to be pastors. But they are called to be pastors. But they don't want it. And they will frustrate you. They will frustrate you, and if you are not careful, you will die. You will get out of track. They don't want it. Because from the onset, they didn't want it. You didn't talk that out with them. It's true that sometimes it happens, especially in the pastoral issue. Sometimes you get married, and then at the end of the day, the calling comes. You didn't see it from the beginning, and then it picks you in the middle of the relationship, and the wife, you're like, either the wife or the husbands, because they are called wife and they are called husbands, and you stand in the middle of, you're like, how do I go about this whole thing? We didn't discuss it from the beginning. We did not know it was going to turn out this way. So the issue now is you needed to accept to get married to somebody who believes in you, who understands you, a man or a woman with whom you can dialogue and understand, and fulfill that purpose that both of you dream to.
That's what I've been saying.
So if you cannot, at that time, if your partner cannot accept to dialogue, you didn't make it. It happened along the line. I didn't plan to be a pastor, but it's happening now that calling was there. I didn't see it, but now what do I do? How do I work out? The man or the woman in question should be that one who believes in your dream, who believes in what happens. It's not turning us out to the worst. He is not answering a call to be a thief. It's not something demeaning. It's a profession, and it's something he is working up to.
Okay.
So we at that point we have to accept it. We have to put it on the table. We dialogue sincerely and accept it.
Yeah, Mme Asanji, what is your first take on this subject?
Good evening once more, Mr. Liu. Looking at this second topic of if a wrong relationship or marriage can kill purpose or dreams, the answer is yes. One thing people don't understand is people think marriage is the last achievement on earth. People think you are created to grow up, get married, and that is all about life. But there is more to life. There is something God has created each and every one of us with that we are coming to this earth to accomplish, whether married or not married. That's one thing people should understand. Because when you see people that are not married and they are desperate, they are doing nothing because they are not married, they have missed focus. They have missed the focus of their life. They're looking at marriage like that's the last thing they were supposed to fulfill as they are now matured. But they forget to understand that we are all created with something that, you know, it's a God-given assignment. It's a divine assignment that God has given us here on earth to come and accomplish. Nobody was created for nothing. If you're here on earth, you have something that it's put in you that others can benefit from. And what you can do is you can discover that purpose, that vision. Until you discover it, that's when you will know who you're supposed to marry. Someone asked me, "Ma, how will I know if I'm ready for marriage?" I said, discover your purpose. That's the first step. The first step to getting married, the first step to choosing the life spouse is discovering your purpose. Once you discover your purpose, you know exactly where you're going to. You will now know who is going with you. Because if you're going on a journey to nowhere, you are, that means you are heading to nowhere. You will not equally know who. In fact, you will pick up anybody even. You will pick up anybody because you are just going somewhere you don't even know where you're going to. But somebody that has a direction, a focus, you know what you need. The Bible says a woman is a suitable helper. Every woman is a helper, but not every woman is suitable to help every man. So, before you know who is the best suitable helper for you, you must identify your purpose on earth. Once you identify your purpose on earth, that's when you can now know who is suitable to fit, to help you accomplish that God-given assignment on earth. So marrying the wrong person can kill. In fact, it will not only kill that vision and that purpose, it can actually kill you as a human being. So when you're marrying, when you're choosing a life spouse, please discover your purpose first. It starts with that.
First, discover your purpose for those of us watching and listening. Hello, good evening to all of you in the studio. I'm Emmanuel from Yaoundé. I think communication is the key. A lot of marriages come with excitement that the couples don't always see the future before getting married. I think a lot of people think marriage is an achievement. Dialogue and counseling is a better foundation to every relationship before marriage. Okay, that is why Madame Fortinglet, Ms. Asanji, Apostle Ambe, and the rest are there. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Do Apostle Alfred mean that an unbeliever should not marry a believer? Because for me, there is nothing wrong when an unbeliever gets married to a believer. I don't know whether that's what he said. Wrong relationship can kill your dream when you get married to the wrong person or date a wrong person. We should be careful and also pray for the right partner. Good evening. Marrying the wrong person can take you to hell. If your ideas do not align, just know you are finished. Marry a person who will reason in the same line with you, else you will suffer the rest of your life. It's better to be single than marrying the wrong person. Agbo Tambe Firino is writing from Douala. Good evening, Mr. Leo. In any relationship, there must be a problem. The solution to overcome that problem is praying and fasting to overcome the problem. Let the man and the woman join their hands together so that they can make a good home. Nkongo Martin is writing from Manyemen. Good evening, Mr. Liu and everyone in the studio. I want to ask a question that has been disturbing me for a long time now. When we say that a Christian should marry only a Christian, what will happen to an unbeliever? Because a Christian can be when God has destined he or she to marry an unbeliever and change their lives, then what will happen to those ones that are unbelievers? For me, there are still some Christians that are more dangerous than unbelievers. This is Favor, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening. I'm called Rich Click. Good evening. I am called Rich Click. If a man is not responsible, means he doesn't love the wife, so the woman should take note. Okay, I'm writing from Boya. very long messages today. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and all of you there in the studio. Mr. Liu, if only you know how impacted I have been ever since I started watching your program. I please extend my salute to Apostle Ambe. He is a wonderful man. Keep up the good work, sir. If after a couple dialogue multiple times and he is still irresponsible and lazy, I'll get a counselor involved. But if it gets to a certain point, no, I beg, I'm going back to my mother's house till he starts behaving like the man I knew. Disrespect, I will never disrespect him, never, not after our vows. My sanity and my children's happiness is optimal. Sometimes some of these men are so heady. I beg. Sorry, I'm Emiliette writing from Bamenda. Good evening. Please, from my research, I have discovered that most women that don't respect or submit to a man is from the woman's family. Check the woman's family. Okay. We are looking at this issue. My question now to you is, do people actually know their purpose before they get married? Because from every education, especially women, their purpose in life is to get married. Once you are married, you see myself, a yoke is taken out of, yes, because no, if you go to churches here, you people are pastors now. The number one prayer point
to marry.
Yeah. So, oh, am I lying?
No. You see, and it's really painful, and most of this comes because to most women or to most people, marriage is an achievement.
Yeah, but is it not also because the society has made it like a, I don't know.
Yes.
The way it's like a stigma that you don't big, you therefore buy a house. So the society is also pushing. Yes.
Yes, that's actually what we are trying to look at, because it's sometimes these things is born out of pressure. Like many people have been saying here concerning communication in marriages. You have heard a lot about communication. I want to simply state here that evil communication corrupts good manner. We always hear this statement and we think that it is only in line with maybe gossip and all of that. But the greatest person you'll be communicating all your life is the person you will marry. Coming to the topic, can it kill the dream? Yes, the evil communication can destroy something that was good. And the truth about the matter, Mr. Liu, is because most of the people, this coming together, you see, we have emphasized a lot about purpose. From the very time I have been here, anybody knew me for one thing. I shut out that word until Apostle Alfred was asking me, what are you talking about? This purpose. I made it very clear. You see, most of the times it's because many women enter into marriage looking first from outside than looking from within. They only know the qualities of the man they want. They don't know if they are the qualities of that can match the kind of man they want. And this is also very pertinent because, let me say this, it is better to go alone than to go with the wrong partner. It is better to go alone. You don't need a partner to fulfill purpose. This is something that people fail to understand. And when you establish that, there is first of all some peace of mind. Another problem, Mr. Liu, is that most people enter into marriage with half-baked dreams. Permit me say this. Listen, you must not achieve all your dreams before you get married. No, that's what I'm saying. But when I say half-baked dreams is this. Anybody who has dreamt here, we are all people of visions, you will know that what is in your head begins to take shape and begins to look different when you start doing it. So we have a lot of brothers who have, in fact, there was a time when we were growing up, brothers don't know his vision. Then it came to a time and said, ladies, when your man wants to marry you, ask for his vision. No, we the men have written down ledgers. So you meet the man now, Oga, do you have vision? He gives you 80, boom, take ledger, take vision. This is my vision. That is why I made a statement here as a counselor. It's not biblical, but as a wise counselor, I always advise people, if you are not ready to get married in about 2 years, let the person be. Why am I saying this? Why am I put that 2 years just maximum? Why am I saying it? Because it's sure you are not ready. Something about you is not ready. Like, for example, we are talking about ladies here who will say that they want to get married, and then man will say that you will stop being. No. Listen, they stop your dreams because you went into marriage without accomplishing a certain degree of your dream. You must not accomplish all. Now, when a man is in love or when a woman is in love, anything you're saying goes. I think everybody has a child. Imagine you tell a child that wants to buy a bicycle, Mr. Leo. As long as that child want that bike, you tell the child, you don't go come on, get to, you go say yes. You don't go do this. Everything will be yes because they want it. This is what happens when people begin to share their dream. And they so I want to do journalism. The man likes you. Yeah, no, you go do it, mama. You go do it. You go do it. You enter the house. After 3-4 calls, they said, like, Mr. Leo, look at how many messages have come into your phone. After 3-4, the man say, take in the neck. Mr. say coming in. Greetings, Madam this. Greetings, Madam this. I like your show. Madam said, Oga said, no. Today don't end for my major prime. We'll go find you work for quarter. Now, this is a reality, and because he never sat down to analyze. Take note. Nobody will sit down to analyze the depth and the seriousness of their vision more than you. You are the one to know the depth and how far you want to go, and be sure that the man you are with will be willing to go that far. I want to say this. I always describe dating as somebody leaving my 70, those of you who know Boya, to go to Yaoundé. I said, make sure you don't meet somebody that try to convince them to go to Yaoundé. No. Go to the agency you will take. By the time you make a man go to Yaoundé, it reduces their distraction. Pay your ticket, sit in the bus, but even still, no, even inside that bus, don't start dating first, in quote. Because there's some people who are there to just say with their books and their medicine. When the class are going before, you will know. And there's some people who end in Douala. Make sure, because if you finally end with somebody who end in Douala, what will happen? When you reach Douala, there are two things. Either you end with that person in Douala, or you will have to go alone to Yaoundé. And many people get into marriage, and then they get to that point, and the person, no, this is how far I thought it would be. And now you say, no, now you have a choice. Either you have to stop your dream to please the person, or you would displease the person and move ahead. And that's why today we have a lot of people who have divorced, though they are still coming to church with the same dress. It has ended. Because most people did not take time to know themselves. And when you know this, like we're talking about, how can you even dialogue? We know when I talk about this dialogue, how can they even dialogue when they don't understand? How can you present to somebody, this is where I want to go? They will stop it. Please, don't just have things in your head. Don't just have things you have written down. Yes. Start pursuing it. Okay. And then you let them see it, and the person will be able to understand. Okay. And I think you will help a lot.
Good evening. Greetings and respect to you all there. Mr. Leo, perfect and educative program you always bring before us. I really enjoy and love all your programs. I learn a lot from it. It's Daddy Cash writing from Bamenda. Good night, bro. Good night to you, my brother. Good evening, Mr. Leo and the panelists on board. My answer is yes. I am agreeing with one of your panelists who said if you want your dream to live, first of all discover your assignment or purpose before getting into marriage. Tandy Emmanuel Tam, writing from Mutengene. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, I want to congratulate the woman in yellow. She's speaking sense that I haven't heard for long. I wish everyone can hear her clean and clear. I'm Derek, writing from Limbe. Derek. Good evening. My name is Baron. My own opinion, wrong relationship can actually kill dreams, because I have this girlfriend that I want to marry her, but she keeps jumping from one house to the next. Actually, it really kills my dreams. I'm writing from Boya. What house is she jumping from? Good evening. I am Mange Miracle from Bamenda. I think a woman should submit totally to the husband, no matter what. Let her remember her marriage vow. Wrong relationship can kill dreams to an extent, but amendments can still be made. I am okay, Mange from Bamenda. Let's know that marriage is not fun or anything like that. Let your partner see and accept your purpose before you say yes. Kirex is writing from Bamenda. Good evening. Good evening in the studio. The question seems unbalanced. Should a man also keep loving a woman who is not submissive? We are discussing that next week, please. I think the key issue should be handled side by side. Submission from the woman and a principle and love from the man is a fundamental principle as well. Okay, Gilbert is writing from Bamenda, Apostle Ambe. Where do we make the mistake where we get into a relationship and we see our dreams crushed? Because one of the partners do not see from the same prism like us. And is it possible for a woman to talk you out of your dream and a man talking the woman out of her dream?
I think the reason why most people sometimes get frustrated is because they marry people who explain dreams, not ones who are living their dream.
Exactly.
Eve never met Adam, and Adam wrote a vision to tell him that this is what I want to do.
No, this is what I'm doing.
He found Adam already doing something. There are two ways to fulfill your dream. Either you are fulfilling that dream by submitting to somebody who has a dream, or you are the leader of the dream. For instance, as a pastor, if you are called as a pastor, you are either fulfilling the pastoral calling by serving under a senior pastor, or you are a head pastor. So which of the ways, a woman that has to come into your life should find you already living your dream. A lot of boys and girls get married, not men and women. It's a boy that explains his dream. I want to be, and the girl says, I want to be. You don't live a life of I want to be. You start living and the woman meets you in. If the woman meets you in what you are doing and she buys the dream, she will follow you. Most people who are nowhere to be found, they have not discovered what they want to do, they don't even know their assignment, they say they want to get married, and then they keep telling the person that I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be this. You don't tell people your dreams. You are living your dream, and you find a woman while you are living your dream. So if a man has not started living his dream, he's not qualified for marriage. Number two, you don't get married a woman and make her a wife. The Bible says he that finds a wife. Before you come, you are a wife. There is an error we keep teaching that you marry a woman and make her a wife. No. The Bible says he that finds, before you are coming, you're already a wife. So people who are not even wives, they are still sisters. They are females. And they are women. They want to get married. They don't have the stature, the capacity of a wife. But they are women, oh. They are female, oh. They are the opposite sex, but they are not wife. Who is a wife? If we want to define that word wife here, it has a long way to go. That word wife is a medical term that has to do with midwifery. It's somebody that helps you deliver. A midwife is somebody that helps a pregnant woman to bring out what is in that woman. So if you are coming as a wife, your purpose is to make sure that that thing that man is carrying, that thing that he's doing as a dream, it should be delivered maximally. And you can never walk. The woman, it's only women that make mistakes. It's not men. If a woman is walking into a man's life who has not discovered his dream, both of them can enter into error. But if you find a man who has had a dream, you will definitely know if you have to walk into it or you don't walk into it.
Yeah, but are there men who are talked out of their dream by getting married to the wrong woman?
Of course. Men who are talked out of their dream because they got married to the wrong woman is a man who does not know that his assignment is more important than the woman. Oh, you are called to serve humanity. A woman is coming to complement you, serve humanity. The woman is not as important than your assignment. Your potential is older than your marriage. You met your marriage on your path. You were born with your potential. So your potential is older than your marriage. That's why I tell people, if you allow religion to block your potential, you are frustrated. Your potential is older than your religion. You were born with a potential. You only met religion along the line. So I cannot stop relating with a Muslim because I'm a Christian. There is a potential in me that needs a Muslim man to make it work. I cannot stop relating with a Muslim because Christianity has come to build a wall in between the two of us.
Somebody asked a question about marrying an unbeliever.
If you are getting married to an unbeliever who is coming to enter into that dream that you already have, when you are living a dream, religion doesn't matter.
Okay.
When you are already living a dream, Eve was not in any religion. She was not a Christian. The Christ had not come. She was not a Muslim. She was not a Hindu. She was not a Buddhist. She was not a Confucius. She was a woman. She came and found a man in a dream. Mr. Lou, if you meet if you are a farmer, an agriculturalist or an agronomist, you are into agriculture. You meet a woman that comes into that agriculture and make you go further and faster and grow bigger than you ever thought of. That person is the complement. Keep that religious cap.
No, you need a believer woman who
I'm coming to explain something.
Okay.
I'm coming to explain. The differences in religion is another aspect.
We are.
I'm talking about an unbelieving woman. They're talking about unbelieving woman, not a Muslim, not somebody who already believes in a religion. That's conflicting in ideology. I'm talking about a free, non-believing woman.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Let me clarify, because it's very sensitive I'm talking.
Okay.
You are a man who has found your dream. You meet a woman who doesn't belong to any religion. She's just a free woman, and she comes to compliment you in that thing you are doing. There is a possibility that if she buys your vision, she can buy your religion.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Liu.
A possibility.
A possibility if she buys your vision.
Cannot also.
Well, 80 to 90%.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. A woman should submit to a responsible man. A man lost his respect when he fails to take care of his family. Even his children won't respect him. Kanzi is writing from Douala, Kanzi. Oops, my father was not rich. I never disrespected him. Being single is better than married to an unsuitable partner. Being single as a man to due respect than to be married to an unsubmissive wife. Fondo, okay? You are writing 10 times. As the man the head of the family, some will not even allow women to propose some good idea to them. They will say, you want to be the head of the house, not you tell him in angry manner. Good evening. Okay. Yes, thank you for contributing. You don't get married to get divorced. It's normal to rely on your partner, but don't rely on him for your existence, because that's where most marriages have problems. You need your other sources of happiness from friends and relatives. It's better to wait long and know the devil you are to marry than to the wrong angel you haven't spent time to know who he is. Okay? In a mature relationship, people don't just talk. They do what they say, because too much talking in a relationship are the root causes of most problems. Good evening. Julius is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, dear panelists. Great topic. What about those who go alone and still yet don't fulfill the purpose? I think we should invest in each of these areas of our lives. Marriage is also a purpose. Victor is writing from Yaoundé. Unfortunately, we are out of time. We have to end here. Pastor, Apostle, thank you for coming here.
Listen, thank you very much, Mr. Leo. I also let you know that a man, you may be going towards the right direction, and a woman comes to your life and directs you to the right direction. You may be having a wrong dream, and somebody brings you to the right dream.
Some women can also talk you to your purpose. Yes. Apostle, thank you for coming.
Yes. We have very good women also that can take you off track to the right track.
Yes, because the Bible says he that finds a wife now. Yes.
Yeah, that's
so. It is true.
Vice versa. Men too that can put women on the right track.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. Thank you for listening. We meet again next week. Next Tuesday, we are together again.
Ok. Merci d'être passé par ici.
C'est un plaisir de partager cette émission avec vous. Permettez-moi simplement de dire, le succès d'un mariage dépend de la base, de ce que nous nous sommes fixés. Et lorsque les bases sont franches, automatiquement le mariage réussit.
Okay. We also want to say thank you to you, Apostle Lefor, for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. It has been an honor, and I want to appreciate all those who have been watching. I know some people have been asking where I've been. Well, we have started the TLC project, so it has been a little bit busy, but we are back on, and we hope we shall keep on the good work. Thank you.
Thank you to you, Ms. Asanji, taking part from Bamenda, and to all of you who took time off to watch the program. To you, Fondon Richard, thank you for all of what you wrote, and all of you who watch on social media. And the production team, thank you. Not forgetting you, Tabitha Bryant, who is supervising the work we do out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.